Today we have a nice piece of apricot. This comes to us from viewer Mark. I think he's from Tri-Cities area of Eastern Washington, maybe Spokane, but I think it was Tri-Cities area. He and his wife stopped by a couple summers ago and brought me a bunch of wood, and this is some of what he brought. I've turned apricot once before. I can't really remember how it was. It was a while ago, but look at that. We got a nice crotch piece here. That should give us some nice grain on the inside. I'm going to have to do a little bit of doctor into this before we quite get to turning it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as we like to say here at Shady Acres Woodshop. Howdy, let's take a closer look at it. The piece is about 9 by 9, except for this front part there, closest to you. It's about 12 inches there, but I'm going to trim that off. I'm probably going to round it up a little bit. Another problem is that's 3 inches thick. And this is about 4 inches thick. And so that'll give us an odd shape on the top, which normally doesn't bother me, but I guess this time it does. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is put this on my drill press table, and I'm going to shim it up. Instead of setting it flat on this bottom, I'm going to shim it up this way, drill my flat spot for my chuck jaws to set against, and in the middle of that I'm going to drill a hole for a woodworm screw. Then when we mount it up, it'll be setting like this, and all this thicker part will be turned away from the bottom. Some people would mount it between centers and do that, but I think it'll be easier just to set it down and shim it up and do what I'm going to do. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll see you over here at the lathe. Well, now I've messed around so long I don't have much time. I have to go to a birthday party in an hour and a half. Well, I got to be there in an hour and a half. I put you in that orientation so that you can see that by shimming the bottom, this is the high part over here. As I rotate this around, you can see the difference, about an inch. So that means we'll be turning this end away to match this end, the 3-inch end. But that'll give us a flatter top. Not completely flat, because, you know, a tree is natural, but flatter than it was. Less of a dramatic change from one end to the other. That's what I'm trying to get at. We're going to be turning at 500 RPM, 5/8" bowl gouge, mask, and face shield on. Oh, I also spent a bit of time gluing down this bark. This end was pretty good, but this end needed quite a bit. So that's kind of why I've been messing around, trying to get that secured, and I think I have it pretty well. But I'm still going to turn from the top side down for a while so that I don't peel that bark off. The glue might not be totally set yet. Okay, now I'm going to move down to the bottom corner here. And now I need to flatten off that bottom because it's giving me a hard time. Alrighty then. Starting to look like something. I guess we will lay out for a tenon. Need to raise my tool rest a little bit so I can use this diamond point tool, square up the sides of the tenon. And that's groovy. Now we can come back over here to the side and finalize our shape. I can probably pick the speed up now, huh? Yeah, about 7:10. Much better. All right, well that actually did it. Time for sanding. I'm going to start the sanding with my Sandoflex. I'm going to sand the bark along this top edge, clean it up, smooth it out, make it feel good, but it won't change how it looks. I'll show you that. And then I will have the lathe spinning in reverse at about 280 RPM. I'm going to start at 80 grit with my 2-inch disc and work up through 400, and I'll show you that as well as soon as I get my mask on. And I'll be doing a little bit more of that. And I'll be doing more of that. I'll bring it back here in a bit and we'll put probably sanding sealer on there. We'll find out. See you in a bit. I don't think this is gonna pop. Nope. I wish it was. I think it's gonna look nice anyway. We've got lots of heartwood there, but it's just not gonna pop. It's not a real dark heartwood. Not enough contrast between the heartwood and the sapwood. It sure sanded up nice and easy. I like easy sanding, and it's smooth as silk. Yeah, it's gonna look nice. What's gonna help a lot is when I get some finish on the bark. And the bark is even nice and smooth too, of course, thanks to the Sandoflex. Oh, last week I mentioned, I hate to even bring it up again. I don't understand it. It's the posts. I'm not talking about comments. I'm not talking about what you've been doing, what I've been doing all along. I'm not talking about that. It's something different. It's called posts. And now I have more than I did. And I still can't comment on them. And nobody else can comment on them as far as I can tell, because none of them have any comments. But people are seeing them because they do have likes. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I think YouTube just didn't finish setting it up or something. I just don't know. Other than pictures, I don't know why people are posting in there instead of just making a comment that I can answer, you know, if it's a question, or that I can comment or reply to their comment. I'm not sure why people are choosing to post there, except, like I said, if it's a picture. You can post your picture, just nobody can comment on it. Okay, now I'm gonna brush along this edge. I don't have to go over very far, just as thick as the brush is, because we'll be turning away most of it, of course. But yes, this makes quite a difference in the appearance. Okay, well this, did I say? This is sanding sealer I'm applying. Shellac based sanding sealer. It's called Zinsser Seal Coat. I don't get anything for telling you any part of this. I'm just telling you what I use. Zinsser Seal Coat. And then I'll use Zinsser Clear Shellac over it. And I put on 2 coats of each. And I put them on exactly the same way, so I don't show the application of the shellac. I use the same kind of brush, the same kind of rag, applied the same way, no difference at all. Yeah, you can see, you can see the difference in the bark with the sealer on there. It makes a nice contrast with the rest of the wood, especially with the lighter colored sapwood and then the dark bark. Okay, another coat of this, 2 coats of shellac. I'll bring you back. We'll turn it around and hollow it out. See you then. You know, whenever I don't have the camera turned on, I'm listening to the radio, and I have Sirius XM in my truck on all my Alexa devices. I'm old, you know, I'm old. So for years I've been listening to 50s gold, and about a year ago I switched over to 60s gold because I'd heard 50s gold all my life from the 50s, because my sisters used to play it in the kitchen when they were cooking dinner and that sort of thing. Anyway, so I switched to the 60s for about a year, and now I've switched to the 70s. I'm really moving on up, and there's some good music from the 70s, and turns out I like disco too. Just something I thought I'd share with you. I've turned the piece around and have the tenon mounted up in the chuck. We're going to be turning at 700 RPM, 5/8" bowl gouge, mask, and face shield on. I'm not going to get far with the tailstock here, and I knew that. I just wanted to get the bulk of the bark taken care of before I remove the tailstock. Just that little extra support out this far, and I'm really hoping this bark is going to stay with us. I've done quite a bit of work to make sure that's the case. I'd like to get down in there about another inch or so, but you can see I can't. This is the best I can do before I hit the tool handle on the tailstock. But I'll go down a little deeper, and then I'll get rid of the tailstock and thin this down some. I think we're okay. So I'm going to get rid of the tailstock. Yeah, that looks better. Just about right, I'd say. And the bark's still with us, so that's good. Shear scrape a little. I'm gonna go sharpen up. I just want to get an idea where we are here. Well, we've still got about an inch total. And I'm going to go sharpen it up again. We must be getting close, huh? About 3/8 of an inch. That'll probably do it. Yep. Okay, we're there. Do we want to scrape it or just sand it? It needs scraping, but some wood just doesn't like to be scraped. See what that looks like before I go on. Oh, it looks pretty good. I'm going to put a fresh burr on here. Be right back. I've shown this many times, but we have some new viewers, so I'll show it again. This is a 36-degree bevel, top and bottom. It came with just the bevel on the bottom, and I ground the bevel on the top to make it a negative rake. You don't have to grind it every time it needs sharpening. All you need is something like this. This is just a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, round shank. And just find that bevel and then lift up off of the heel onto the toe a little bit. Apply some pressure with your thumb over here and run it across there. It just takes 2 or 3 times. And what you're doing is you're bending that very tip up a little bit and creating a burr on here. It doesn't seem like it could bend metal, but you can just on that tip. And then you got a fresh burr. And you can do that about I do it about 3 or 4 times between sharpenings. Works pretty good. I'm not real sure the camera caught that. I tend to show it to you like this, and then I come down here and do it. I'm sorry about that. Let me get it up here where it's easier for you to see. It's a little less comfortable for me. I'm looking at the camera now and not at my tool, and then I can't do it right. But I just want to make sure it's up here where you can see it. Yep. Okay. And I've been shear scraping as I go down, so I don't have to come all the way up here. So we're good. Time for sanding. I have the lathe spinning in reverse at 250 RPM. I'm starting at 80 grit and working up through 400. I'll bring you back here in a bit and we'll put some more sanding sealer in there. See you in a bit. It is Saturday evening, just about 6 o'clock, and I've got me a big old ribeye in there. Gonna make some homemade French fries, nice tossed salad. I don't know what movie, but there's going to be a movie involved, and I'm excited. Doesn't take much to excite an old man, does it? This sanded up beautifully, just beautifully. I'm so pleased about it. It's not the most outstanding grain you've ever seen, but it's nice. The bark helps a lot. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to kind of wipe the bark down here a little bit, just in case it got bruised while I was sanding. Can't have no bruises. Oh, and this is sanding sealer I'm applying, shellac-based sanding sealer. Same as the outside, 2 coats of this, 2 coats of shellac. I'm going to let it set overnight on account of, you know, it's time for dinner almost. I'll bring you back tomorrow, Sunday, and we will take off the tenon. I hope you like it so far. I do. See you tomorrow. Oh, wait. I was going to tell you a story. There's these 2 brothers, and one brother joins the military, and he goes overseas, and he's gone for about a year, and finally he calls home. His brother answers the phone, and they exchange small talk, you know, how you been, and what have you been up to, that sort of thing. And then the soldier says, so how's Dad? And the brother says, well, he's dead. And the soldier says, what? What? You don't say it like that. Don't say he's dead. That's rude. Just, you got to break it to me gently. You got to say something like, well, he was up on the roof and there was a big rainstorm and he slipped and he fell and the paramedics came and took him to the hospital and they did everything they could to save him, but he just died. You got to say something like that. You don't just say he's dead. That's not nice. And the brother says, yeah, you're right. I'm so sorry about that. And the soldier says, well, that's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. And then he says, so how's Mom? And the brother says, well, she's up on the roof. See you tomorrow. I have a short video dedicated to what I do between coats and after the final coat, but I'm going to just toss it in here for those that don't want to go looking for that video. I have these 3M sheets that I buy, and then I cut a circle out of them, and I just stick them on here just as if they were sandpaper. And I use a gray one, and then I use a white one. I use the white one only after the final coat, which is what this is the final coat. Then I blow it off. And I switch out the gray one for the white one. And there we go, all polished up, ready for the dining room table or wherever. Time to remove that tenon. I mounted a block of wood up in my chuck. I'm going to put a non-slip cloth over that and bring up the bowl and bring up my tailstock. I still have that center hole there for reference, so I can drive my live center right into that. Apply a little pressure, bring up the tool rest. We'll spin the piece up, see if it's running true. It's not. I'll release some pressure and jiggle it around a little bit and try again. Yeah, that's better. Close enough. Turn the speed up to about 600 RPM and begin to commence removing that tenon. We'll stop and check for clearance, and we have clearance. I'm going to adjust my tool rest a little bit closer, a little bit higher. I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch swept back bowl gouge so that I can get in there closer. Now I'm going to turn the speed down to about 400 RPM. Just keep working it away. Now I'm going to turn the speed down to about 200 RPM. And I'm going to apply the bevel of the gouge against the bottom of the bowl. Right hand on the gouge, left hand on the switch. And when the little nub stops turning, we'll know we're through. Or breaks away. Sometimes that happens. No biggie. I'll just take this over here to the workbench, sand that up, sign it, get it finished, and I'll be right back. Be sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, here it is. One apricot bowl in the books. When I was a kid, we said apricot. The whole family said apricot. But somewhere along the line we got fancy and now we say apricot. Anyway, there it is. Perfect example of a live edge bowl. Got a pretty nice finish on it. There's the bottom all finished up. This was fun to do. It's pretty easy to turn. That's nice. Turned pretty well. Let me know what you think of it. Thank you, Mark, for bringing this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly. I truly appreciate that. I also appreciate that you took some of your time to spend with me today. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to your comments. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.